Hello guys, we are sewing this beautiful flea or rather fish fitted skirt, and just take a look at this. You will notice that we padded it, and we also cut the both cuts. So we are sewing the fitted skirt with the both cuts. Alright, without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. So for this particular client, I have a full body length. So, and this particular skirt is a high waist skirt. So I'm getting the hip point. Now that's the hip point from the full body length. Well, what I did was to minus 2 inches from the half length, from the under bust. Alright, I came down by 2 inches, and I added half an inch because I'll be joining the skirt band with this half an inch. So what I marked under there, as you can see, is the under hip, or you can also call it the underbutt for the back side of the skirt. So here I marked the normal waist point. Okay, from this waist point is where I'll be adding the padded form. So that's what I just marked. Unlike as you all know, and as I said before, is a high-waisted skirt, and there is no way I would start from the high waist to add the form. So this is the waist. I'm taking the waist measurement. Remember, the fabric is folded. So this is the waist measurement divided by 4. You should know this by now. If you don't, you have to divide the waist measurement by 4, and then you add your sewing allowance, which I just did. And from the hip point here, I'm taking the hip measurement. So whatever I get from the hip measurement, I'll go ahead to add 1 inch for the form. This is the front, don't forget. So I'll be adding 1 inch and my sewing allowance. So the 1 inch will be for the form, and then the other remaining inches, you can add 1 inch for your sewing allowance. You can also add 2 inches. It depends on how you want it. And this is the under hip, and I have to take the under hip circumference to get this well fitted. So the circumference is what I am dividing by 4, and I'm also adding 1 inch for the form, for the padding, including my sewing allowance. So with this, you can actually join it to the waist. So next thing now is to join it from the waist to the hip, and after this I have to now take the skirt measurement, and this is not the full skirt measurement. I'm measuring it down to the lap. It will not get to the knee, because if it gets to the knee, it will be tight. The person wearing it cannot actually walk well with it. I'm sorry guys, this is not showing very well, but you see it, you definitely see it. So I am cutting it out. I have to cut it out, and because this is the front panel of the skirt, after cutting it, I have to cut deep from the navel side to make it well fitted. Just take a look at this. Using my tape, I have to measure 1.5 in, and then from here I'll curve it to the sides. I'm curving this using the pattern master, and then afterwards I'll cut. So this is it, and remember, for the skirts and the trousers, you have to deep cut it from the navel point or from the center point. So this is it. Next is to cut the back. We've already gone ahead to fold it and taking the waist measurement, the hip point, just like we did in the front. I'll just call it the boot point because it is the back side of the skirt. Okay, so we are marking it, and then cut, you must get your bolt to bolt measurement just like you do to the nipple to nipple. Okay, so I'm trying to get the bolt to bolt measurement. I am adding the zip allowance to it and before then, but let's quickly create the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. So we're taking a straight line down, and then from here we are getting the bolt to bolt, which is 5 inches, I think 4 inches, and then you add your sewing allowance and also your foam allowance. Don't forget, you can use an inch for the other side, for the zip side, and also an inch for the joining side. You can also do half an inch for each of them. Okay, so and you then add your foam allowance, don't forget. So next thing I'm doing is from the underbutt, I'm coming in on both sides by 1 inch, just like you do for the breast cut. So, and oh sorry, the video is not it's not well covered, but I hope you understand. And here I am going to find the waist point. Remember, this is high waist, so exactly the way I minused it from the front, so I am going to do it for the back. For here, for the boot cut, this is my measurement. From here I am coming down by 2 inches to get the exact butt size. So I'm going to connect a straight line from the points. I'm going to connect a straight line to, as in how we do for breast cuts. So from this point I am coming in and out by 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and then from this waist point I am coming in and out by 1 inches to get it a perfect fitting. So from here 1 inch, and then I will be connecting it straight to the bolt point. It this way, and remember, no sharp edges. Try to smoothen it very well. So now what I'll do is to now take the measurements, the proper measurements. I am trying to get the hip measurement, but in this case, know that you have to join the butts, and you're creating half inch on both sides for joining the bow, which is additional 1 inch, and then you're adding 1 inch for your foam allowance, and also you are adding another 1 inch for the other part of the foam allowance, and then additional inches for joining, for normal joining. So this is the waist measurement, as you know, but because now we minus 1 inch, so we are going to add the 2 inches back, and then another 1 inch for joining it, the that side, and then the normal inches for joining the fabric together. I hope this is very clear. Remember, from the waist point we removed something 1 inches. This 1 inch on both sides is equivalent to 2 inches, and then you're adding half inch for joining allowance, making it 3, and then you can add like 2 inches for your normal joining on the sides. So we go down under the butts, and we also take the same measurements of the butts divided by 4, add 1 inch for the for what we removed, and also we also add the joining allowance for joining the darts, which is half inches, and then the normal sewing allowance. So don't forget, we have a normal cut for it, a normal length. What we use for the front is what we're going to use for the back, and then we cut. So this time for cutting. After cutting, we'll come to the center part here and then slit for the zip. So now is to get the zip measurement, and do not forget, this is high waist. So instead of the normal zip measurement of 8, we are taking 11. So that is what I am marking right now. Normal fitting, we are going to be curving it this way. Yes, this is for the zip allowance and the butt cut. After this, all we need to do is now to slit and carefully remove the darts for the butt cut. Remember, this is folded in 2, and remember our cuttings, how we achieved the butt cut. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the flay. Alright guys, welcome back, and it's time to cut the flay. So I'm making a very big flay, and then I am folding the material as much as I can, but I'm folding it to get the edge. So in this particular one, if I fold, I'm folding the frontal part separately, and then I'll go ahead to fold the back part of it separately. So this one being the front panel of the flay, I've already divided by the waist measurement by 5, so it gave me 6, and that is what I'll be measuring it around with. So as you're seeing, I folded into 4, and it's a very full flay. This is not the usual flay for peplum. I need to get it very long because the client loves it floating. So I am cutting it out, and after here I'll also drag it and take the highest full length I can get. From this waist point, I call it the waist point, I'm going to take it straight down to the brim, and then I measure it. Remember, I am using the waist measurement for the down part of this, for the midpoint of the skirt. So I keep taking it this way, and until I get a circumference of it. And as soon as I am done, I'll simply go ahead and cut it out. Like I said, it's a very full flay, and this is for the front panel. So I am cutting it out already. Guys, this is for the back panel, and I am also going ahead to use the same pattern I used for the front side to cut the back panel of it. As you can see, I am folding it, and next thing is to take the normal measurements I used. Okay, now you can sew this in 2 ways. You can decide to use the both joint for the very midpoint of the skirt, or you can use it in the sideways. Alright guys, thank you for seeing this video, and I hope you subscribe and watch out for the sewing in my next video. Thanks and stay subscribed. Bye.